Hey guys, it's Ed again. Well, I got some new stuff in the mail today. Hopefully this focus thing is working better. I can see it's kind of clicking on and off on my face. So I dropped my camera on the concrete last week, and it hasn't quite been the same. So we're gonna go with it for a while, and it's trying to do some things, but it's not working as well as it used to. So, well, anyway, but we'll show you what we got going on. So anyway, over here, maybe if I can turn the camera, is the old Bentley, and you guys may see that it has a downpipe now, and the exhaust is kind of set back on it. I also have the other downpipe here. So this came in the mail, good eBay special. These, the whole deal I think cost me 50 bucks shipped for these two, for the downpipes and the connectors. But most of the ones I saw in there, they wanted 30 bucks, and they were smashed all to hell. These are rusty, but so's the bike, but they're not smashed at all. Neither one of them has like a dent in them. So this bike must not have, that they took apart, must have been a low use bike. So I got the other one for the other side. I also got the cover. That was 15 bucks shipped. So now we have the points cover. That goes on there and covers up that mess. We will have to get the screws for it though. So that should make it a little bit easier, a little bit nicer once we get everything tightened down, to do some more testing on it to see if we can tune it up and get it running better, because it isn't really running as well as I think it should. It's still got a pop on it, so it could definitely be. I did readjust the valves. They were all really messed up. So, and you think it would have ran better when I readjusted the valves, but it really didn't make a heck of a lot of difference. So I'm still thinking that valve has got a slight bend to it still. The one that I whacked with a hammer to straighten it out, causing it not to seal properly and giving it the misfire. Also could be the battery. So because I'm not using a battery, I'm using my little 2 amp trickle charger to set on 6 volt. This one right here. It's an old Napa 1.5 amp, 6 volt, 12 volt. So little trickle charger. So that's basically where we're at with that. I think today what I want to do is I'm going to get a picture. I have one, but I want to print it out so I have it to look at all the time. Otherwise on my phone it goes to sleep and it bothers me. But I'll show you what I want to build today. I want to build, because I got to get a battery in it, is I want to build the tray that holds the battery. And basically what it looks like is, this is a, if we can get her to focus, I tell you this focus is not good. Let me throw a light on it. It might help. But anyway, it has a pin right here, a cotter pin, and this is like a hinge, because this is welded to the frame. This is the brake light switch, and this is welded right on. So they have like a hinge point right here. So I got to cut a piece of sheet metal, put a roll in it, get something about the same thickness as this, build this over, and what it does is it comes over like a triangle, and it has a hook at the bottom that sets down here somewhere, not really sure where. I've got a picture and it shows this bar, so I'll be able to get a measurement, figure out how low it goes, and then the thickness of the battery and the width, and then the height, and then we'll build a little battery tray that gets bolted. It'll have a little tab on it and it gets bolted in over here. So let's work on that. Hey guys, well, we're back. We're going to start building the battery tray. I have got some pictures. I stole them off eBay. Some guys were selling stuff, so I was able to get the general shape of what it is. And I had kind of an idea, but we have those. I know you can't see them very well. Yeah, actually maybe you can see them better than I thought. But anyway, so we got that. We've got some cardboard. This happens to be corrugated, very thin corrugated cardboard. I'm not really a super big fan of it, but that's what I seem to have. In my book, I don't know if you guys can see that right there, are the dimensions to the batteries. But of course, or to the battery, it's in metric, millimeters. So I had to do a little conversion, and when you get done, it comes out to that. You see that? So 2.36 deep, trying to read it in the camera upside down, 6.69 long, and 5.90 high. So I believe that's pretty close to what I've seen online for the battery. So what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of draw this out and get an idea of what we need. So we'll draw the center section of it. And I'm going to guess on the width, but I would say probably in the ballpark of maybe an inch. Yeah, I'd say probably about an inch wide. Again, I'm not really sure, and I'm just kind of laying it out on here. So I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but we got some lines on there. So I'll darken them up for you. We're going to do it with pencil till we get it straightened out. And so 6.69. So let's go, because they have like some foam material they shove in there. I think I'm just going to use some weather stripping foam. It's about 1/8 of an inch thick. So let's add, we can't go too thick because this is not the battery side. Let me grab the battery side one. Here's the battery side cover. So we can't get too wide because it will interfere. Let's just take a quick look here. I've got about 9 inches to the flat side, to this groove in here. It's about 9 inches in there. So we'll make sure to keep it under that. So let's say we make it a little wide. What do we have? 6.8, 6.75 is 3/4, so 6.7 actually is what they got. 6.69. So let's go 6 3/4 to what it would normally be. I want it to fit kind of snug, but not super snug. I think I'm going to go with about 7 1/4 inches. So 7 1/4 inches for just that part. Then we need, because it gets folded up in the pictures here, we need another depth of 2.36. But this side here is the side that has the hinge. So that doesn't go down as far because the hinge actually takes up some of the material. It sticks up away from the body of the bike. But this side over here does go fully down the full depth. So let's go down about 2.5 inches. That should give us enough to play with. Okay. And then we need to add a tab So let's add another inch. Let's add 1.25 inches. That almost pushes me off the end of my paper here. So I'll just kind of wing this here. Put another line over here. Okay. This will be the end of it. We'll round it off, make it look beautiful. This will be a fold line. This is a fold line. Now this end of it over here is going to require, let's see if I can zoom you guys in a little. There you go. Now you can almost see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm working on this side now of our little drawing. So I figured out the 2.5 inches deep. That gives us a little room for foam. That's about 1.25 inches. That'll have a hole drilled in it somewhere. I won't drill that hole until I get it mounted. And now we need to add on the material, which is going to be the hard part, because let's see if I can find you a good picture of it. Oh, that's not a really good picture of it. That's not a good picture of it. This one kind of is. It just comes up. Can you see how that just comes up a little bit? I'm trying to get you in the picture here. So that only comes up just a little bit. So maybe half of the way. So let's measure it on the bike and see what it says. So, well, let's go for a walk. Take our tape measure with us. Okay, I'll zoom you guys out a little. So this is the little guy that I'm talking about right here. That seems to be about, and I'd say an inch, about an inch to the center of the turn. So it's about an inch to there. Back this way with it. Yeah, I'd say about an inch to the center of that. And down below is yeah, 1/4 of an inch. So, and actually this is probably the same thickness. That's about 3/8 of an inch. That's about 3/8 also. So it's somewhere between 1/4 and 3/8 is what will make those rolls. But that's about an inch. So if that's an inch, get you back in the picture here again. If that's an inch, then zoom me up again. Then where are we? Right here. So this is where we're going to need, what did we say that was? 2.5. So let's add 1.5 inches. That'll get us down. Right? So that's 1.5 inches more. And then it has to have a curl built onto it. So it's going to fold here, I think. Let's double check our measurements. Yeah, we'll fold it here. That's a fold line. And then goes out a little ways. But we don't know how far. Yeah, if that's an inch, let's add another 1/2 inch of material on here to give us a total of 3 inches. And then this will get cut and rolled with a 3/8 inch gap here. So 3/8 puts me right above there, and then it goes down. So let's just kind of sketch this in. There's that line. There's that line. There's this. Delete this. Okay. So you guys kind of see what we got going on here. We got like a little mouth cut. These little tabs will get rolled up hopefully. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet, but we'll figure it out. This will get folded on this line and then back. So now what we need to do is figure out the depth. Now the depth is 5.9 inches total, which is pretty much 6 inches tall, which goes right about there. So I'm just kind of winging it by eye. I know you guys can't see here. Let me get you guys in the shot again. Okay. So I'm just trying to figure out where I want this part to come down. I think I'm going to go 1, 2, 2.5 inches. I mean, it looks like, let me see, what do I have, 2.5 inches? I think I had 6 inches right here. I'm just trying to eyeball it to the picture I have, and it looks like, because 3 would be right dead center of this. So the 3 is right here. Still not focusing very well. My camera's having a rough day. So, and that's right in the dead center. So let's do that. So we'll put the 6 mark right there. That'll be the bottom. That gives me a little extra if I want to throw a little foam in the bottom, I guess. So now all we need to do is create kind of an artistic curve here. This piece looks to be a couple inches long, where it gets folded, and then all it is just a, comes out of here, goes down, goes to there. So I'm just kind of winging it, something like that. We'll do the same thing coming up on this side, make it kind of match. So it shows it going out a little farther and coming down. And coming down. Let's get a measurement on this. I think that's what my problem is I'm a little crooked here. Let's say a 7 1/4. 3 1/2 is 7. So right about there is where center is. So I was way off with that eyeball. It's a good thing you guys caught that, because that was way off. So let's go an inch this way, inch this way. Let's try that again. Okay. I just made it a couple inches. So now let's freewheel this baby in here. Something like that. And then from this one, we'll go up somewhere. It really doesn't matter. I mean, it just has to hold the battery. It just has to be close. And then it's about an inch wide, so we're just going to kind of wing an inch in here. Looks like there was a little bit of a spot. Something to this effect. And about an inch there. Okay, so where are you guys? Can you see that? Let's make it a little darker. Oh yeah. Then we need to add down here. We didn't add that on. We need to add an extra inch or so. I really don't know how much to add, but for the actual part that catches and holds the battery. So this is a fold line. We'll just make that dotted line. So, I think, let's darken it up a little bit. Let's see if I got a Sharpie. I got a gold Sharpie. Like this. Dash line there. Here. Dashed line there. This is going to get cut. I'll get rolled up. Something like that. Let me see, how was that cut? That was cut pretty square. So we'll do that. Do that. Dash line goes there. Dash line goes there. And a hole gets punched in it somewhere down here, but we don't really know where. So now can you guys see it? What do you think? It looks like underwear. It's like a jock strap. Yeah, I know, I said it. YouTube will probably pull my video down now. So let's cut this baby out, and we won't fold it until we cut the metal, and we'll go from there. Okay guys, I kind of just rigged this up on here, and this depth looks pretty decent compared to this. I mean, it looks kind of parallel to the frame, but I don't like this part over here. It seems like it's pushing it. See how that's crooked? To kind of get it to fit, and I'm on the edge of the screw. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen this up a little bit. I'm going to bring this a little bit tighter, get a different measurement here, so it's a little bit shorter distance from side to side. I'll show you what I mean. Okay guys, like you saw, I didn't like the way it was setting square. This measurement here is 7 1/4, and the battery length is 6.69, 6 3/4. That adds a 1/2 inch to it. So I'm going to take off 1/4 inch here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to have to back it off completely. So I'll take off 1/4 inch here. I'm just eyeballing this. But we'll take off 1/4 inch here. That means that this fold moves back 1/4 inch, and this gets 1/4 inch chopped off. So let's chop 1/4 inch off. We'll fold this here. We'll fold this one there. Okay. And like I said, this corrugated cardboard isn't really my favorite. And we'll go back and we'll check to see how that lines up. Okay guys, I like that a little better. It still isn't quite 90 degrees there, but it's closer there, and that's centered more on the screw. I know it's hard to tell, but I want it centered in the tab, and I'm trying to put the 90 on it. I think that's going to be closer, and if I have to, I can always slot that screw a little bit. So I think that's what we're going to go with. The depth looks good. It's above the little tab on the bottom, so hopefully it won't bang onto the case. We could actually probably check that. Let's just poke a hole in this and put the screw in it, and then that'll hold it there, and then we can put the cover on and kind of see what it feels like. Okay guys, trying to get my camera to focus, which you know it doesn't like to anymore, and I think that'll work. We'll give her a try. I've shrunk it down another 1/4 of an inch, so maybe it'll actually fit in there. The height seemed okay. So that's what we're going to make out of metal. So let's do that. Okay guys, I got a piece of 16 gauge. I just cut out of the garage out of a big 4x8 sheet. I got it laid out on there. You can see I kind of scratched out what it's supposed to look like. And now we're going to try to trim it out, get it a little closer to being the right size. That bend will be real fun to make, especially in 16 gauge. We'll see how we do though. Okay guys, I started cutting this, sorry. I forgot to push record. Oops. But I still got some to cut out, so you'll get to see me wrestle through it. I also added a tab on right here. This, when it gets folded, ends up being like a little thing, and they put the fuse holder in there. There's like another little piece that gets bent around. I could actually probably use some of the scrap material to make a little clip kind of thing to hold it on there. So we're going to try to add that in there too. This bend right here is really not easy to make. So I try not to swear because YouTube will throw me off again. This thing works really good on straight cuts, but not so good on the curves. So let's see if we can break that out of there with a pair of pliers. Maybe we can just twist this off. Get it out of the way. Sorta. And then it won't catch when I try to bring the cutter around, I'm hoping. So here we go. Ready? It's a little challenging. It's sharp. Okay, so let's see what we made here, besides a mess. Not too bad, actually. Kinda. We'll flatten it out a little bit. Maybe put a file on it. Now this should be easy because this is just a regular cut. That center, I have no idea how I'm going to get that out of there yet. We'll figure it out though. And I'm just guessing on this. Get rid of that. Now we just have to go down. Stop about there. Kind of break this out of the way if we can. And then we're going to come back the other way. and we hit. Of course we hit. So let's try that again. See if we can get that piece out of here. Not sure. That came out better than I thought. So let's flatten this out a little bit. May have to bang this on something a little harder than that, so let's do that. Okay guys, what I came up with is I took a drill bit and I drilled a couple holes in this, and then I tried to clean it out with a file. So this was the process. I'm still working it down. Trying to make that triangle cut in the middle. The file's working pretty good. But I got to remove like 1/4 of an inch of material. We're getting there. It's going to be a little while. That was fun, wasn't it? Okay guys, we're out in the garage. It's a little frosty out here. I dug out the old bead roller and we're going to try to roll a bead on that. Let's see what happens. What did I do with it? Here it is. I set it up with the thing, and we're gonna try lifting it up, setting it down, and see if we can draw her down with that bolt and roll a bead through there. Let's see what happens. Okay guys, I don't know if you can see anything, but I'm trying. I got my handle on the wrong side. I'm hung up in my coat. So can you still see it? I guess. Let's see which way we got to go. This way. And I can't see if I'm going straight or not. This is tricky. Can one of you guys tell me if I'm going straight? I mean, I physically cannot see. Thank God I put a little line on it. Otherwise, I'd have no idea where I am. And I think we're going to stop about there. And then we got to try to turn it to go down around that bend. That should be fun. Not really sure how we're going to do that, because it's not going to go. Oh, maybe it'll go far enough this way. Get the box out of here. Let's go backwards. I know I'm blocking you. Oh, let's go this way. I can't see. Can't see what I'm doing. Huh. I can't see a damn thing. I know you guys can't see nothing, but at least I can see. And I guess that's all that matters, because I'm the one rolling the bead here. I would say something like that. Now maybe if we loosen it up, I don't know if you guys can see that bead, but we did roll a bead in it. So it's not as deep, I think, as the original, but it should strengthen it. So now all we're going to do is drop this back down in. Not really sure where. Okay. Now we'll try to form the bead back my way with it. Okay. That's not too shabby. We'll show you a little better when actually you guys can kind of see it right there, I think. Not too bad. We'll hammer her out a little bit, clean it up. Maybe we'll even clean it right here since we've got the wire wheel here. Okay, it's a thing of beauty. All we need to do is hammer it out a little bit where she's got torqued up and cut the little hingy part and then figure out how we're going to roll that. So, okay guys, we're down cellar again. Got out of that cold garage. All I'm going to do here is just try to flatten out some of the metal where it's worked up around the bead. So to lay a little flatter. So the bead actually turned out pretty darn good. I mean, for what it is. So I think that looks pretty good. Hopefully it works after all this work. But we'll get a mark on it again. I know this one bends right here, so we could probably bend that one, get that bent. And then I'm just going to use the vise. I didn't go crazy with anything. This will be our brake. So I do have a bigger breakout in the garage I built many years ago. But this shall do the trick. Nice tight bend. Anyway, not too shabby. We twist it a little. We're going to make sure that we got the right depth. This tab right here I think is too long, but I can always trim it off later and get it to the right. It's easier to make it shorter than it is to make it longer. So let's get another bend over here on this side somewhere. This one I don't know where it goes. We may have to use the pattern. And the tape measure. So anyway, here I got the pattern. That goes on there like so. It looks like it'll bend right about there. I lost my marker. So let's kind of lay this back on here. Get an idea of where it's got to bend. Say right about there. Okay. We'll double check that before we bend it. We'll get some measurements and make sure. That looks awful short to me, just by looking at it, because I need what, 2.5, right? So we don't want to bend it there, because this has got to go up against the frame. So let's, what was my measurements? It's 2.36 deep. So the battery supposedly. So if I go 2.5, somewhere right about there, not this one. If you guys can see that one. Oh, we got a battery going down. Let me get you re-batteried. Okay guys, sorry the battery died, and I thought I had one on the charger, but I didn't. So this is what we come up with. Basically I had it all straight. I think when the battery died, all I did was fold up these tabs, and I did create that little hinge. That was a pain in the ass. It's not beautiful, but it works. I took a file to it. Actually, there's still a rough spot right there. Just took off the burrs. I took the grinder to it. So that's better. So do you guys want to go see if it fits? What do you think? Sounds like a plan? Okay guys, here it is. Here's the screw. Here's the cotter pin. Like I said, I've taken the file to it. I got it all cleaned up pretty well. Cotter pin drops down in. That holds that side. And then the screw goes in over here somewhere. Just like them so. And I tighten her up a little bit. Enough. It's not super tight. My wrench is giving me some issues here. This is a Harbor Freight ratchet wrench. Not the best of quality. The gear wrenches are a lot better. So, I don't know why that keeps turning, but it's tight now. So, what do you guys think? Looks pretty good on there. It's not going anywhere. And then, to make sure that we got everything, we tuck all these wires Actually, the red wire can stay on the outside, I believe. This wire's got to go in there. I'm not sure how or where. If it comes up from... They show it coming up through from the bottom, but we can't do that. So that goes in there. That hose gets out of the way. That's it. We'll shove everything in there. Actually, we'll cover everything on. How's that sound? I like that better. And then we'll just get the hose out of there. Make sure that's down. So guys, what do you think? We got her all in there. We still need to put the cap on it. Everything fits. The wires are just pushing it out, which is no big deal. It's not pushing on it hard. So I think we're good. I like it. It looks good. Bring you in for a close-up. So you guys can see the tab goes down in there. And then it just goes up and gets secured with like a big cap screw. Goes on there and holds it on. So thanks for watching, subscribing, and commenting, and we'll catch you on the next one.